Hi, everybody. It's Karen Anderson with Aortic Hope, and I am here with Katie Moran. This is so exciting because what popped up in my memory feed today was 1 year ago, exactly today, we did a live event together before you established yourself at this amazing new location.
And it was so much fun.
It was so much fun. My son was there, and he slept through most of it.
Yes, he did.
He was so relaxed, but it was really wonderful, and we did a lot of talking on the last one. A lot about different ways to reduce stress, and I think I was so zoned. I became so relaxed talking to you. Today, we're going to get to do conversations, and we're going to actually do some hands-on work and get to listen and experience. And so this is going to be a little bit more participatory, for lack of a better word, and
experiential.
Mm-hmm. It's a good word. And our focus really today, and please let me know if you're having any technical difficulties hearing us or seeing us or anything, and I'll try to make an adjustment. But in our world, we know how important it is to keep our stress level down, because that helps reduce our blood pressure. It aids in reducing the blood pressure. It's also great for us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And so Katie brings to the table a whole other set of techniques and ways that we can do that that's outside of medicine. So I am in no way saying don't use your medicine, don't work with your doctors. I'm saying take a look at this integrative therapy, because it's something that's natural, that can't hurt you, that you can practice at any given moment, and you might even be practicing some of it now and not even sure that you're doing it, not even aware. So I'm going to help translate a little bit of Katie and some of the stuff she's going to talk about to help make it a little bit more applicable to our world. But if you could hold off some of your questions until our last moment of our event tonight, we'll answer the questions before we do our last wonderful thing, which will give you some direction on maybe shutting down the lights, creating ambiance where you are, and then we want you to really experience something that might be wonderful. And then since this is on video, you'll be able to play this back anytime you want. So I'm going to turn it all over to Katie now and let her share with you some amazing ways that we can reduce stress. That would be awesome. So thank you again so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for interviewing me again.
Yeah,
it's my pleasure to talk to you and your beautiful community of people. Hi, everybody. So we're here at the Getaway, and a little bit about my background. I'm a massage therapist, Reiki master. I also do a lot of yoga therapy and yoga instruction. So in addition to a lot of other things, we will get into a couple of ways that are very easy for you to reduce your stress at home for yourself. And I want to start by saying that I think it's a very important topic for everybody. A lot of input is coming our way all the time from, it seems like, every different angle. And if we have tools to be able to stay grounded and centered in the midst of the chaos of regular life, we have a better chance of sustaining a lifestyle of relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's something that is very important to touch base on first. Living relaxed. So creating a life for yourself that you don't feel like you need to escape from, that would be huge. If each one of us did that, we might smile at each other more.
Mm-hmm.
We might get along better. And that's my goal in my practice, is to be able to help people feel better on the inside so that we treat each other better outside. So I'll bring in a tool to start off with, and then I'll get into sensory experience. And this tool comes from Ayurveda. It's a very traditional lineage of medicine practice from India. It involves the elements and a lot of different components. But one of the one of the pieces that I'd like to introduce to you guys is something called the three gunas. And the three gunas are three qualities of life that are present in every circumstance. And they are sattva, raja, and tama. And those are Sanskrit words that I know you don't know, and it's okay.
And we'll translate them for you in just a minute.
Yeah, so sattva, or a sattvic lifestyle choice, is choosing something of clarity. You have a purity about it. It's a very conscious, high vibration type of choice that you can make for yourself. And that's kind of the goal. But none of us are perfect. None of us are these angels that we're
happy all the time or go lucky all the time. We can't sustain that.
No, there's a yin and a yang. So you have to remember that it's not about aiming for perfection, because we're human and that's okay. But sattva is the quality of pure stillness. So imagine a lake that is completely flat. The next quality is rajas. So a rajastic quality is movement or change. And that's what happens when we get rustled. Or imagine a lake that somebody stuck a stick into. And the stick is, creating a ripple on the outside of that flat surface of water. And then the third guna is tamas, or tamastic quality would be a darkness. So somebody's taking that stick that you've now stuck in the water and is now stirring it and creating mud. So the mud makes it not as clear anymore. It's a little bit murky now.
So to apply it to our life, we would like to live as stress-free as possible, which would help aid in our health and wellness. And the second one, raja, could be when we have to go have a scan and now we're amped up and we're nervous, or we feel a certain ping or pang, and now we're starting to get full of anxiety. And your tamas would be now we're in this pit of anxiety where our blood pressure's out of control. We're really reading into a lot too much. We're just really overly anxious, and a lot of times we can bring some of that on because we think too much when you apply this to our medical condition. So that's, I think, an easier way to think of what you're explaining. We can apply it to anything, really, but
it is applicable to absolutely anything. But the part that I really want to bring home just for this is that we have the choice in every moment of every day to create our reality in terms of how much darkness or how much clarity we're letting in, and the middle of the road is how much movement we have going on. So if we're going and going and going and going and going, and then we don't have any other option but to collapse, then finally we're finding sattva, but it might be the give or take of finding it as an imbalance rather than as a balanced choice. So the whole name of the game is just to try and stay as clear with ourselves and as clear with our lifestyles as we possibly can, in any line of work, in any walk of life. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what you're doing for work. You don't have to be a yoga teacher. You don't have to, work in a beautiful massage clinic if it's your dream job.
Or if you're on disability, any stage of your recovery, it's just trying to find the constant balance versus the peaks and the lows. It's trying to find that stable, how you can maintain that
exactly
as often as possible given our situations. That's where we're going to hopefully learn these techniques today.
Exactly. Just sustainability. Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, so I'll get into some sensory experience examples. And I'll start with scent. So on our last meeting together, we discussed aromatherapy and how the neurological components of aromatherapy have been scientifically proven to reduce effects of stress on the human body, as you know, a nasal passage into the brain sort of exchange with the lifeblood of the plant. But that was last time. This is this time. We're just going to focus on a brief list of different aromatherapy options that can help to reduce stress, in that these aromas are sedative, not stimulative.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We're getting the sound is a little bit fuzzy, so maybe we can both try to speak up.
Okay.
Just a little bit, but while remaining calm.
Let
us know if this helps. Okay.
I'll lean in a little too. Okay, so the list of aromas that I have for you today include chamomile, clary sage, frankincense, jasmine, lavender, ylang ylang, mandarin, marjoram, sweet melissa, neroli, rose, and valerian. This also includes bergamot, but bergamot can also be used as a stimulant, depending on the variety that you're using and how you're applying it. So any of those aromas you can either dilute with a carrier oil, like coconut oil, or a refined sesame oil. And you can put it directly on the skin, on the pulse points, and your pulse points actually act as a diffuser. So you don't need a fancy diffuser necklace or anything. Your body is amazing, and it will be a diffuser all on its own.
I can personally speak and say that lavender, chamomile, and rose just instantly just calm me down. If I have any lavender when I'm having a massage, I fall asleep. I wake up and it's over, which is positive and negative, I guess. I was in a nice relaxed state, but I missed it. But it's very, very soothing for me. And we were just talking about aromatherapy and how this is so tried and true for thousands of years. I mean, you go back and you're using menthol or eucalyptus, and we know that opens up your nasal passages, hence they sell Vicks, but I'm sure using pure stuff would be better. But it opens it up. So if it works, then all this other stuff would work.
They're actually using some aromas and essential oils in Vicks, by the way.
What, menthol canter maybe, if that's one?
So that would be the menthol in wintergreen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So obviously that works and helps with your breathing. So clearly the others that you just mentioned would work. And I would say give it a try. Again, can't hurt you. Nobody would tell you what to. I would say do it. Pulse points.
Pulse points. If you don't have a diffuser, you can use, and if you do have a diffuser, you can use the pure essential oils inside the diffuser, and the little machine does it all for you in the environment that you're in. So if you are in a hospital environment and you're not able to bring a diffuser, the pulse points are a really good option. And another really great way to balance our nervous system, great way to bring relaxation or sattva into your everyday life, is using pranayama or breath work. So the breath coming in and out of the body can be seen as a sacred experience when we take a moment at a red light, when we take a moment before we go to bed, while we're brushing our teeth, while we're waiting for our food to beep out of the microwave, or whatever you're doing, just take that moment and focus on your breath. It doesn't have to be a sophisticated pranayama. It can just be mindful breathing. And that in and of itself has the ability to just transform your moment of maybe a cluttered or rajastic state of being in your mental state to having that moment of clarity, that moment of conscious breath. But another thing that we can do as an experience for you guys at home, I can show you how to do alternate nostril breathing.
Okay.
If if you would like.
So those of you that are with us now, you might want to try this with us. Those that see this video later, have at it. I'm game. I'm ready.
Okay.
And I do want to mention that the breathing and the scent and the other senses that Katie's going to talk about are really beneficial and part of grounding if you get triggered and you have PTSD. So if something happens, these are techniques you can try to go to right away. Focus on if you smell something in the air. Focus on your breathing, and then we're going to get to a couple others that you're going to talk about. So let's try this. I'm ready.
Okay. So alternate nostril breathing is very good for balancing the left and right hemispheres of the brain, which brings us into the center. So if we're a little bit too left-brained or right-brained in any given moment, this kind of balances it out and finds a peaceful center. All right, so we can start by using our thumb and our pinky finger, or our thumb and our pointer finger. It depends on what you prefer. We can start with this, because this is easy.
Okay.
It makes it very accessible.
Okay.
So we're basically going to be plugging up one nostril. So we can start with the same nostril. Yeah. And so breathing in through the opposite nostril that's not plugged for 1, 2, 3, 4. And switch your fingers, plugging the opposite nostril. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Switch. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. One more round. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Switch and exhale. 2, 3, 4. Release your hands and breathe normally. Do you feel calmer?
I do feel calm. Do I sound calmer?
You sound calmer. You look good.
It really is good, and you can feel your chest open up because you only have the one nostril. That's awesome.
Sure.
That's great.
Let us know what you guys think of that. I'm interested to hear if just a couple rounds was able to bring you guys into a better state of living in this moment.
Yeah, text us. Let us know if you just tried it, what your thoughts were. We're getting some thumbs up,
Yay,
so that's good.
did.
That's good. That's great.
Perfect.
Yay. Okay.
Cool. So on to the next sense. We'll move on to sight, because what we see, what we bring in through our eyes, has a major impact on how we're living and how we're, it's literally how we're seeing everything around us. It's our veil, and it's our lens to the world around us and how we see ourselves as well as a reflection of whatever we're looking at. So the more pure we're looking into things, the better we'll feel as a reflection on the inside. Mm-hmm. That's sattvic. That's the sattvic quality that we're looking for. So spending time in nature is huge. And if you can't spend time in nature because you have a crazy work schedule and you work at a hospital, guess what? You can bring it with you. You can go away on a sensory vacation whenever you want. All you need is a little postcard for your little office or your pocket or, your dashboard. Just don't get too, carried away with it. Focus on your job.
And that's so interesting, because there are some hospitals now that when you have surgery, they have these spa channels. I don't know if you knew this, and you can put on that channel and it has scenery or it has waterfalls and you're listening to the sounds, and it is a relaxation channel for patients that are in the hospital.
I did know
that. You did?
Yes, I did. I spent a little bit of time in the hospital recently with a good friend of mine, so I did know that.
It is wonderful. If you have to go, take advantage of the channel. Ask if your hospital has it.
It's a good option.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so nature.
So nature, and create a clutter-free environment for yourself. and sustain it as well as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be, sterile, but just comfortable for how you live can make a world of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Why you're not coming home after a long day and seeing, last week's stuff. And I'm guilty of that too. Trust me, I develop amount laundry.
Yeah.
But I mean, just, try to create that. That way you're living in harmony with your environment at home, at work, try and get your roommate and your spouse on board with it, because, their stuff is your stuff too if you're around it.
And sight, again, as we know, can be a trigger. So this is a third sense where you can, for some people, seeing a helicopter or seeing an ambulance is a trigger for PTSD. So you might want to have something in your car or with you that you can focus on visually. I have something hanging from my rearview mirror, and it's a little needlepoint that my stepdaughter made me that says survivor with a heart. And so if I feel that trigger coming on, I go to all of these sensory grounding techniques, and I just stare at that, and I divert from the ambulance or whatever it is, and I smell whatever it is in the car, and I might touch my skin, which I know we're going to get to next, but I'll try to listen to the radio. I just divert myself. So it does work.
That's amazing. That is such a great tool.
Have something with you.
Yeah.
Palm tree. Whatever it is, whatever makes you happy. This picture. You can have this sitting in your dash and bring that nature in it and take a look at that. So yes, sight, very important.
I love that. And another thing that you can do for yourself, for your self-care, self-love, as simple as lighting a candle for yourself. You can create that ambiance for your self-love. It doesn't need to be a romantic thing with a partner. You're allowed to have that enjoyment of that moment that you take to light the candle for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That is very empowering, actually, when you take the time and sit down and prepare your meal, and you set the tone for relaxing digestion. That's very, very important. And that brings us to my next point, which is taste. So the consciousness of while we're eating has so much to do with how it's digested in our bodies. So if you're eating around an environment that stresses you out, so if it's a political or, a debate or, something on TV that makes you feel like you don't want to be eating to it anymore, the stuff that makes your stomach knot up, that's not probably a good thing to eat to. Maybe lighting that candle before the meal to set that tone. This is my sacred space. This is my time to digest. This is, I'm bringing in information through food.
And I will tell you that I guarantee you, so many of you out there, it's the end of the day, you grab your food, because I know I do it. You jump on the sofa, you're watching the news, not the most enjoyable experience. And I think that we run at such a high pace, we don't look at food as a way to also nourish our soul and our inner being. And I know that somebody out there that's watching, I just had time, I got to spend some time with her. She is so great at this. She's a champion. She eats slowly. You can see that she enjoys her food. She enjoys the taste, the texture, the smell. And I think I just I inhale it. And as much as I love food, I could probably really start enjoying it a lot more. And it would be better for my digestive system and probably everything. It would slow me down. All part of slowing myself down. I love that. So simple.
It is so simple.
So simple. And everybody can do it.
It's like going on a date with yourself.
Pretty much. Yeah. And I could even do it with my husband.
Yeah.
He would probably be finished way before me this time, and we could actually enjoy the experience a little bit. I like it.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
Thanks. I'm glad you're going to use that.
I am.
So another thing is creating a routine. If you can create a new default instead of, finding yourself on the couch, create a new default. Find yourself lighting that candle.
Mm-hmm.
And get into a routine of eating regular meals, because that is also really, really powerful for regulating digestion. And a healthy, regular digestive tract is a good sign of relaxation, because it's in the middle of our being.
And it's important also to keep, if you can keep any inflammation down in your digestive tract, then you're aiding in, again, keeping that higher blood pressure.
Exactly. Avoiding inflammatory foods and eating anti-inflammatory foods. That's a huge, huge piece. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. So then, water. Water is amazing. I can't say enough about water.
I'm embarrassed. I don't want to show my water bottle because yours is so nice.
She loves my water bottle. I have this
with an amethyst
this
crystal.
Water bottle has an actual crystal in it. This is an amethyst, and it creates a gem elixir, and I leave it out in the sun or the moon or however I'm feeling, and it kind of creates a high vibration water for me. But drinking water with or without a crystal is so important. It's the lifeblood of our plant. Our bodies are made up of, 70 to 80% water, and that is a lot of our beings. We're water babies. So drink good water. I tell everybody that. After a massage, I'm like, you guys get sick of hearing me, but I'm going to tell you again, here's water, drink it.
And these are, again, all of these things are things that you can do for yourself. You don't need a prescription. You don't need a doctor to tell you. These are such good things because we're often looking to have some sense of control in an extremely volatile environment sometimes where we feel vulnerable and we have no control. And these are all things that you can do to regain control over yourself.
Exactly.
And feel more empowered. Yeah, keep going.
Empowered and relaxed.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So then that leads us to touch. So touch can be, any of the three gunas, depending on how you look at it. But a sattvic touch would be therapeutic touch. And that doesn't mean that you have to go and see a massage therapist like me or somebody else that you trust. It just means that you're giving yourself some self-massage as well. And when you do that, pick a good oil. I really like Banyan Organics. They make a beautiful Ayurvedic blend for each dosha, each elemental balance. For those of you that don't know the word dosha, and that's okay. And another really good option is coconut oil. And you can find that at TJ Maxx or, the grocery store.
Grocery stores.
And another good option is to find an actual massage oil at whatever local health food store that you can find. Anything is better than nothing, because self-massage gives you another ritual to love yourself. It gives you an opportunity before you take a shower or before you go to bed to just care for yourself. Touch therapy, giving somebody a hug, we know how healing that is for the world. Like that lady who goes around and gives everybody hugs. I love that. I want to do that.
Yep, what a great job. And then there's also, I think we talked about it the last time, where you can tense up parts of your body for a few seconds and let it go.
Yeah, tense and relax.
And that is another grounding or way to help any individual that suffers from anxiety or PTSD. You can start at the top or start at the bottom, and you can squeeze your toes and hold for, what would you say?
Just for 3, 2, 1, relax.
And then you move on to maybe your calves and then your thigh.
You move through every muscle in your body. Tense and relax is a great meditative technique, really. And it is a meditation. You're laying down on the ground or your bed, and you're being still. And you can start, like she said, you can start with your hands and your feet at the same time, and then relax, and then move to your forearms, and then relax, and then your upper arms, and you squeeze, 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 and then you relax, and you can squeeze in all of the muscles in your core and your belly and your mula bandha and your throat, and then relax, and then you can squeeze your face in like you just ate a lemon, and then relax.
It works though. You feel so much lighter after you do it.
It
really
does
work.
Really great technique.
So touch isn't that's another sense.
Yep. So the tense and relax, the self oil massage. You start at your fingertips and you move your way into your joints. That way you're stimulating good circulation, and we're moving lymph into our lymph nodes, and you can stimulate the lymph nodes by just very gently accessing those points in your underarms, in your belly, and in your hips. So yeah, you just start at whatever the end of your appendage is and work your way in, and then for the digestion you go in the direction of peristalsis. So I think Facebook Live goes in the opposite direction. I think we're switched.
Right. If you're looking down at your body, it's clockwise. You're coming up the right side, around and down. That's the direction of digestion.
Yes, exactly. All right. So then another really great technique is restorative yoga. So restorative yoga, I mean, everybody thinks yoga is like sun salutations, very big up, very big down.
Right.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be this really intense workout or even this intense calisthenic routine. Restorative yoga is kind of like rolling around on the floor with a bunch of props that put your body into positioning that allows for sort of a myofascial release by way of gravity.
Okay, and it's so funny you just said that, because we have a question here. If we've ever heard of people that have had ascending aortic aneurysms who have myofascial pain. Not being a doctor, I haven't personally heard of that, because I usually hear that people with aneurysms don't have any symptoms. That could be something completely unrelated. I'm not really sure, but to help alleviate some of that, you're saying that looking into restorative yoga, where it is all flat-based, basically, you're not having to have the weight and gravity and your blood pressure and everything hanging down in downward dog, and it sounds like it's a lot more safe for individuals.
It's a lot more gentle for this community, and if you find a restorative yoga class, make sure you just allow the teacher to know your current condition, and allow them to assist you in helping to, tweak your form ever so slightly to make you more comfortable. And listen to your body, because if you're in a position that feels like it's pulling, it probably is. If you feel like you're at a place where there's pain, back off. I like to teach my therapeutic yoga students that once you reach 70% of your stretch, back off just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be a 110 thing, because therapeutic and restorative yoga are mainly based in how it feels on the inside rather than what the external pose looks.
Okay, I like that.
From the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not posing for Yoga Journal. We're experiencing our bodies moving in this ancient tradition.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I'm going to look it up on YouTube and see what it is.
Yeah, look it up.
Another thing to add to my repertoire.
Exactly.
And when I leave here tonight, I'm taking so much with me. This is so great.
Good.
So we've covered scent.
Mm-hmm.
We've covered sight.
Yep.
We've covered taste, and now we've covered touch.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to get to a fun one.
But
before we get to the last one, this is a good chance to ask if anybody has any questions about anything we've covered, any comments, anything. Maybe we can review the breathing one more time before we get to our last fun scent, which we left out purposely till the end, which is sound. But as you're thinking of some questions, we're going to try to do the breathing technique one more time, and maybe those of you that are now with us can join in, because this is a very simple way of bringing yourself to calm and resetting yourself in a stressful situation. And I really like it, so I want to do it again.
Okay. So did you want to do alternate nostril again,
nostril.
or did you want to try something different?
Try something different. Okay.
Yeah. So
because alternate nostrils on the video, so we'll do something different.
Okay. So I'll teach the cooling breath.
Okay, cooling breath.
So cooling breath, make a boat with your tongue. There you go. Like you're making a straw with your tongue.
Okay.
And then you just inhale 2, 3, 4 through your boat tongue, and then exhale through your boat tongue. So I'll just demonstrate now.
Okay, please.
because it's hard to
you demonstrate.
It's impossible to talk it through and demonstrate at the same time. So you just make a boat with your tongue like this. And then you breathe in like you're breathing through a straw. So breathing in. And then exhaling. Inhaling. You look great, Karen. Exhaling.
I'm an alternating nostril. Sorry.
We get so much fun in here.
I'm an alternating nostril. Yeah, I feel like that one. So and so, some things will work for you, and some things might not.
And that's
alternating
okay.
nostril is good for me. That's okay. Don't nobody.
So do you want to do alternate nostril again?
Let's do alternate nostril one more time. And everybody that's there, please try to join it with us. And then make a comment real quick before we start our final fun thing of the evening. And just let us know if you feel any better or calmer after doing this technique and what your thoughts are about this.
Yes, ma'am. Let's go. Okay, so we can start with our... Yes, all right. So we're inhaling 2, 3, 4, and switch. Exhale 2, 3, 4, and inhaling 2, 3, 4, and switch. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, and switch. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Switch. Exhale 2, 3, 4.
That one I like.
Yeah.
The boat one, the tongue. This one I like. That's
good. A good cooling
stuff.
breath. Like if you're running around and you're in the heat of the summer and, you know, nobody's watching, you can just kind of take that breath
yourself.
through your boat tongue and just let it cool your innards.
All right. We are going to get to our final sense of the night, and this is something you could do in your home because you can buy
certainly, and you can listen to it on YouTube or whatever channel you subscribe.
I'm so excited about it. I'm going to let Katie go ahead and describe it. We're going to end the evening right here with this. So if you have any questions, I'm going to take one final glance at the end of this moment because I'm hoping that all of you will be nice and relaxed after this. And we'll just take one last glance for questions. And if there aren't any, then we're just going to quietly and calmly say goodbye and thank you so much. But Katie's going to describe the final sense now.
Okay, so the final sensory experience that we choose is through sound. And sound and vibrational healing is something that I've recently gotten very passionate about. There's a certain amount of vibration that can actually reverse or inhibit tumor growth. So that in and of itself is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
And there are several different studies with water. I'm not going to talk all about water again, but the vibration that people are putting into water is changing the molecular structure in a way that it can make water look really, really beautiful, like this, like a snowflake, or it can have it be a little bit more fragmented. And Dr. Emoto did a lot of the older, more traditional water studies that I heard about, and you might have heard of some from before him, but he did a lot of, and he's Dr. Emoto. He's a Japanese scientist, and he was one of the first ones that I found out that did the water studies based on vibration. And since we are so much water, it's important for us to monitor our self-talk. So one thing that's very accessible for vibrational and sound healing for ourselves is affirmation. And my personal affirmation that I'll share with you guys today, I've been working with it for a few months, and oh my gosh, I have seen a really amazing result in my life just because I feel better about myself. My affirmation that I write on all my mirrors, and I say it out loud to myself in the mirror every day, is I am enough. I am enough. You are enough.
You are enough.
Thank you. I am enough. And I told my grandmother that, and she was like, yes, I am. I am enough.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm like, yes, you always have been and you always will be, and everybody knows it, and you're enough. So positive self-talk is huge, and humming is another good thing. But I'm going to finally
I'm so
Karen what
anxious.
she wants.
We're going
And
to turn the
play
light
bowls.
off, and I suggest while we get this a little set up that maybe wherever you are, you can dim your lights. I'm going to be quiet, believe it or not, and just sit back. Maybe if you want to close your eyes and relax and just enjoy this experience. This is going to be really lovely. So whenever you're ready to hit that switch, I'll turn this around and we're going to enjoy a little sound bath.
A mini sound bath.
Mini. Do you want me to hit that switch over there?
Oh, sure. If you want it to be
Cozy? People can still see, I think, so that's good.
all right.
Adjusting here.
So while we get settled, you guys can get settled as well. So if you're in a comfy chair, that's fine. Just make sure that both feet are flat on the floor, legs uncrossed, to allow for grounding through the earth, through the bottoms of the feet, and ultimate circulation through your limbs. If you're laying down, that is probably ideal. If you would like to lay down, you can lay down on my treatment table.
That's fine. I'm going to take the floor so I can
Okay.
pay attention to the screen.
So just start to notice your breath. Notice how it feels coming in past your upper lip, filling up your body, and just let it go. Exhale. Allow yourself to sink deeper into your seat. And just allow yourself to be still, be quiet. Start to squeeze your feet, squeeze your hands, and relax. Start to squeeze your legs, your lower body, and relax. Start to squeeze your core and your chest and relax. Start to squeeze your upper arms, your forearms. Relax. And make that lemon face, squeezing all the muscles in your face. And relax. Scanning through your body and allowing the sound to cleanse any areas of stagnation. And just breathe for a few minutes while I play you these crystal singing bowls. Awareness back to your breath. Bring your awareness back to your body. Start wiggling your fingers and your toes. You can take a moment to hold yourself in gratitude for doing something beautiful for yourself this evening. Something for your wellness, something for your health. Thank you for letting me guide you tonight. Namaste, which means that my soul loves your soul, and I see you in there, and you're enough.
Thank you again so much. I don't know about you, but phew, that was amazing. That was really amazing. I really love what I do. I'm very lucky. I know she loves what she does, but that was an incredible experience. Thank you, everybody, again. For those of you that couldn't join us, if you have any pictures, if you I'm half asleep. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comments. I'll get them to Katie and have them answered as soon as possible. And again, thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.